News Network, and we're here at PDAC in Toronto. I'm with Fred Davidson, President and CEO of IMPACT Silver. How are you doing?
It's quite an exciting conference this year. We haven't seen anything like this in terms of vibes in probably 4 years. There's a distinct interest in mining. We've seen brokers, we've seen investors from the retail side, and we've seen analysts coming through the door. As I say, it's dramatically different than we've seen in the last 4 years.
And tell me about some of the company's operations in Mexico.
Well, the company has been operating in Mexico about 11 years now. We took a mine that was actually going down into receivership. We've rebuilt the reserves on it, but more than that, we've been operating successfully now for 11 years. We're a primary producer of silver, but more than that, what makes it a dynamic project is that we've got about 353 square kilometers of property in one of the oldest mining districts in Mexico. Cortez actually hid out here when he got in trouble with the governor of New Spain, so that's how old a mining district it is. The ground is exceptional. The people in the local community have always mined. In fact, there's an old church there, and rather than the statue of the Madonna up front, it's a statue of a miner. So we've got grandfathers, fathers, and sons working underground. And by the way, daughters now too, by the way.
Great. So I just wanted to ask you, also one of the things that's important about companies is the management team, and you have an extensive experience and extensive career in mining. Can you talk a little bit about your role in this?
Well, I've been in mining now 40 years. My background's actually in economics. I'm a chartered accountant as well. But after 40 years of breaking rocks, I guess I have to call myself in the mining business. We've built probably 4 mines over that time. This one is probably one of the most exciting because of the quality of the ground conditions, the quality of the ore, and the quality of the exploration potential.
And tell me a little bit about silver. So that's the primary commodity mined. Silver's been kind of underperforming gold. Can you just talk a little bit about what the outlook is?
Yeah, it has been. Silver is a lot stronger than it was, but certainly there's a bit of weakness in the pricing of silver. We produce silver. We have 2 other products, lead and zinc, much smaller and significant. But what makes this interesting is the property itself historically was actually a gold producer. The Aztecs actually produced their gold from this area. And we very recently opened up a whole new part of our exploration program, exploring strictly for silver, or rather gold and copper, which we're now finding in an area we call Santa Teresa. Be interesting to see where that goes.
And there's there's a much brighter outlook this year for Zed and Link, for example. Do you want to talk about that and copper as well, for example?
Yeah, it's interesting. The base metals are coming back. We select what we mine, and that is there's several mines in the area that we take from, and if silver happens to be a high price, we'll mine the silver. We base it on the value of the rock in front of us, and right now with the strengthening in the lead and the zinc, we're going to put back our zinc circuit back into production again. We have a high-grade zinc deposit on the property, and then we have a second mill. Right now we're upgrading the current mill to 700 tons a day. We have a second mill that will probably, with any success on the exploration for the copper and gold, will be processing 200 tons a day there, when, if, and we have it coming through the mill.
Right. And so I just wanted to mention a little bit about the company as well. So in 2017, IMPACT was named to the 2017 TSX Venture 50. Can you talk a little bit about why the company earned that distinction?
Well, there's some good news and bad news with that one.
Oh, yeah?
What we had in the beginning of the year was a very depressed price, in part because the stock was being thinly traded and we had a heavy selling from a couple of shareholders who decided to basically get out of silver. So they drove the price down, and the market recognized it was badly underpriced and bought it back up again. And there was some excitement too at that time with metals in general. And I think they saw that there was a lot of leverage to a pure silver play like we are. And we saw some heavy buying and took it up a matter of almost times 10 in a matter of about 4 or 5 months. So it was fairly dramatic.
So in terms of 2018 and the plans and the goals for the company, can you just talk a little bit about what is ahead for the company?
It's going to be a very interesting year. We delayed our exploration over the last couple of years to preserve capital. We did a raise about a year and a half ago, and we're now dedicating that back to the exploration side. We're going to follow up the gold-copper target for obvious reasons, called Santa Teresa. The highest grade there was 115 grams a ton, so it's fairly attractive. That's just from rock chips and samples. We've got 2 other high priority targets, one out in the east just above Tasco, the famous gold mine of Tasco. And we've got another one to the south. Plus we're looking at extending a very high-grade deposit we have called San Ramon, and we're going to be extensively drilling that. So very aggressive drilling program this year. We're going to up the tonnage throughput to about 700 tons a day, and going to probably roll the dice a bit on a couple of real greenfields, kick them out of the soccer pitch, if you will.
Yeah, get it going again.
Get her going again. Get some news out there. We're ready to do it. We've got the targets. We've got over 4,500 old mines on this property. It's that big a property. And we've probably explored 10% of them.
So lots to do.
Lots to do, and lots of time to do it in.
So here's my last question. Why should investors choose Impact Silver?
If you're a believer in silver, we're probably the most highly leveraged there is on the exchange. 90 to 95% of our product is silver. We don't use silver equivalents, it's actual silver. 2, we have probably one of the most interesting exploration properties in Mexico, and certainly one of the biggest. And we have a history there that's not just 1 or 2 discoveries. As I say, there's over 4,500 old workings where people over the last 500-600 years have been mining there. And when they leave a kilo in the floor, it gives you an idea of what they were taking. So respectively, very high quality. We're in production, we're well established, and we've got a great management team down there.
Great. Thank you so much, Fred, for joining me.
My pleasure.
And I'm Melissa Shaw with the Investing News Network, and we're here at PDAC in Toronto.